The mockery of Goliath. The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly before the Goliath, Earth's prototype warship, as it drifted silently at the edge of the Helios system. Unlike the sleek and imposing vessels of established galactic powers, the Goliath appeared rough and unrefined. Its hull bore the marks of hasty construction and last-minute modifications, a testament to humanity's desperate race to catch up with interstellar technology. Captain Nathaniel Reeves stood on the bridge, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of holographic displays, his steel-gray eyes fixed on the viewport, taking in the distant stars that humanity had only recently begun to explore. "Status report," he said, his deep voice steady despite the tension that had settled over the crew. Lieutenant Olivia Mercer looked up from her console. "All systems nominal, Captain. The quantum disruptor is online but untested in combat scenarios. Engineering reports power fluctuations, but nothing beyond acceptable parameters." Reeves nodded, his expression betraying nothing of the anxiety churning within. The Goliath represented 5 years of Earth's most advanced research, a desperate attempt to catch up to the technology of established galactic powers. Yet despite humanity's best efforts, the ship was still considered little more than a curiosity among the interstellar community, a primitive attempt by a young species to play at war. Communications from Galactic Council Headquarters, announced Communications Officer Jackson Way. "They're requesting an update on our position." Reeves's jaw tightened. "Inform them that the Goliath is maintaining its patrol route as assigned. We're monitoring the situation." The situation. Such a simple term for what could become humanity's first interstellar conflict. Reports had been coming in for weeks about the Zectarian fleet moving through the outer systems. The Zectarians, a species known for their territorial expansion and technological superiority, had shown increasing interest in the resource-rich planets of the human frontier. "Captain," called out Tactical Officer Hannah Amari. "Long-range sensors are picking up multiple signatures approaching from Sector 7. Configurations match known Zectarian vessel patterns." Reeves straightened his uniform jacket. "Put it on screen." The main display flickered to life, revealing a formation of ships that made the Goliath look like a child's toy in comparison. Each Zectarian vessel was an elegant construct of gleaming metals and crystalline structures that seemed to defy conventional engineering. Their hulls bore no visible weapons, though everyone on the bridge knew they possessed firepower that could reduce the Goliath to atoms in seconds. "They're hailing us, Captain," Way said, his fingers dancing across his console. "Open the channel." The screen shifted to reveal a Zectarian commander, its chitinous exoskeleton shimmering with iridescent colors. 6 compound eyes arranged in a hexagonal pattern regarded Reeves with what he could only interpret as contempt. "Human vessel," the alien's translator converted its clicking speech. "You have entered a zone now claimed by the Zectarian Imperium. Your presence is unwelcome. Withdraw immediately." Reeves kept his posture rigid. "This is Captain Nathaniel Reeves of the Earth vessel Goliath. You are approaching recognized human territory as established in the Galactic Accord of 2187. It is the Zectarian fleet that must withdraw." The commander's upper eye stalks twitched. The Galactic Accord was established by species with the power to enforce their claims. Humanity possesses no such power. "We have observed your vessel." The word dripped with disdain. "A primitive construct with primitive weapons. The Zectarian Imperium recognizes no territorial claims from species incapable of defending them." The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the bridge in silence. "Well, that went about as expected," Lieutenant Mercer muttered. Reeves turned to his tactical officer. "Distance to the Zectarian fleet?" "Approaching the outer marker of the Neptune defense perimeter, Captain. 15 minutes at current velocity." Reeves activated the shipwide comm, "All hands to battle stations." "This is not a drill." "Repeat. All hands to battle stations." The Goliath hummed with activity as crew members raced to their positions. In the engineering section, Chief Engineer Marcus Valentino oversaw the final preparations of the ship's experimental weapon, the quantum disruptor. Designed to harness the energy between quantum states, the device could theoretically generate enough power to disrupt the molecular structure of enemy vessels. Theoretically. It had never been used in actual combat. "Chief, are we ready?" Reeves's voice came through the comm. Valentino wiped sweat from his dark brow as he monitored the energy readings. "As ready as we'll ever be, Captain. The disruptor sequence is primed, but I must remind you we've only run simulations. We have no idea how this will perform against Zectarian shields." "Noted, Chief." "Stand by." On the bridge, the tension was palpable as the Zectarian fleet drew closer. The main vessel, nearly 5 times the size of the Goliath, led a formation of 7 warships, each capable of devastating Earth's defenses. "They're powering up weapons," Amari reported, her voice tight. Reeves accessed the fleet communications channel. "This is Captain Reeves of the Goliath to Earth Defense Command. We are facing a Zectarian battle group at the Neptune perimeter. Request immediate reinforcements." The response came quickly, but not from Earth. A transmission from the Galactic Council observation post cut through. "Human vessel, this is Ambassador Zal of the Galactic Council. We are monitoring your situation. Be advised that Council protocols prohibit direct intervention in territorial disputes. We recommend immediate withdrawal to avoid unnecessary loss of life." Reeves's knuckles whitened as he gripped the edge of his console. The message was clear. Earth was on its own. "They always knew this would happen," Lieutenant Mercer said quietly. "The Council, they've been waiting for someone to put humanity in its place." Reeves nodded grimly. "And they think the Zectarians are going to do their dirty work for them." He straightened his shoulders. "Well, they're about to learn something about humans. We don't go down easily." The Zectarian vessels spread out in a classic encirclement pattern, their weapon ports glowing with energy. "Captain," Amari called, "they're targeting our primary systems, shields, propulsion, life support." "Evasive maneuvers," Reeves ordered. "Pattern Delta 9. Keep our starboard section facing away from their main batteries." The Goliath moved with surprising agility for its size, banking hard as the first volley of Zectarian weapons fire streaked past. But the next barrage found its mark, slamming into the ship's shields with enough force to throw crew members from their stations. "Shields at 64% and dropping," shouted the defensive systems officer. Reeves activated the comm. "Valentino, we need the quantum disruptor online now." "Working on it, Captain." Valentino's voice was strained. "The containment field is fluctuating. We need to stabilize it before activation, or we risk destroying ourselves." Another hit rocked the ship. Warning klaxons blared throughout the bridge as systems reported damage across multiple decks. "Return fire, all conventional weapons," Reeves ordered. "Focus on their lead vessel's propulsion system." The Goliath's rail guns and missile batteries came to life, sending projectiles and energy beams toward the Zectarian flagship. The alien shields absorbed most of the impact, but a few strikes appeared to penetrate, causing minor damage. "They're laughing at us," Mercer said, pointing to an incoming transmission. The Zectarian commander appeared on screen again, its facial plates shifting in what Reeves recognized as their equivalent of amusement. "Is this the best defense Earth can muster? One ship with weapons barely sufficient to scratch our shields? Perhaps we overestimated your species. This will not be conquest, it will be pest control." Reeves ignored the taunt, his mind racing through options. "Tactical, what's the status of their formation?" "They're spreading wider, Captain. I think they're preparing to launch fighters." "Perfect," Reeves murmured. "That's what we want." He opened a channel to engineering. "Valentino, status." "Containment stabilized, Captain. The disruptor is ready for activation, but I must warn you. At this range, the effect will be unpredictable." "Understood." Reeves turned to his navigation officer. "Lieutenant Finch, bring us to heading 227 Mark 8, full impulse. I want us in the center of their formation." The navigation officer's eyes widened. "Captain, that will place us directly in their crossfire." "Exactly. Execute." The Goliath surged forward, diving directly toward the heart of the Zectarian fleet. The enemy ships, surprised by the seemingly suicidal maneuver, adjusted their positions to bring all weapons to bear on the human vessel. "They think we're attempting a ramming attack," Imari observed. "They're concentrating their fire." The ship shuddered violently as multiple hits struck their shields. "Shields at 28%, the defensive officer called out. "We can't take much more of this." "Hold course," Reeves commanded, his voice unwavering. "Valentino, prepare to activate the quantum disruptor on my mark." The Goliath plunged deeper into the enemy formation, taking hit after hit. A console exploded on the bridge, sending sparks cascading across the deck. The lights flickered, and emergency power kicked in, bathing the bridge in a red glow. "We're in position, Captain," Finch reported. "Center of their formation." Reeves took a deep breath. "All hands, brace for quantum disruptor activation." He paused for a heartbeat. "Valentino now." Humanity's vengeance. In the engineering section, Chief Engineer Marcus Valentino initiated the sequence. The quantum disruptor hummed to life, vibrations running through the ship as energy built to impossible levels. On the bridge, displays showed the power curve rising exponentially. Energy readings off the scale, Mercer reported, her voice filled with awe. Whatever happens next, Captain, it's going to be big. The Zectarian ships, sensing something was wrong, began to break formation, attempting to distance themselves from the Goliath. But it was too late. Disruptor reaching critical threshold, Imari announced. 3, 2, 1. A pulse of brilliant blue-white energy erupted from the Goliath, expanding outward in concentric waves. As it washed over the Zectarian vessels, their shields flickered and failed. The wave continued to spread, enveloping ship after ship. On the view screen, Reeves watched as the molecular structure of the nearest Zectarian vessel began to destabilize, its elegant hull warping and twisting as the quantum energies disrupted the bonds holding it together. Within seconds, the ship broke apart, fragments spinning off into the void. The cascade effect moved from vessel to vessel, leaving destruction in its wake. 3 ships, then 5, then all 7 of the escort vessels disintegrated. Only the flagship remained, its more powerful shields managing to deflect the worst of the effect, though even it showed signs of severe damage. As the energy wave dissipated, silence fell over the bridge of the Goliath. The screen showed the aftermath, where once had been a proud Zectarian fleet. Now there was only debris and the crippled flagship. By all the stars, Wei whispered. It actually worked. Reeves's face remained composed, though his eyes reflected the weight of what they had just accomplished, and the lives they had taken. Damage report. The quantum disruptor is offline. Captain, Valentino's voice came through, sounding exhausted. Coolant systems are failing, and we've lost power to decks 4 through 7. Repair teams are responding. Casualties. 18 injured, 5 critically. No fatalities reported yet. Reeves nodded solemnly. Status of the Zectarian flagship? Severely damaged, Imari reported. Their weapons are offline, and they're venting atmosphere from multiple hull breaches. Life support appears to be failing. Open a channel. The view screen flickered to life, showing the Zectarian bridge in disarray. Emergency lighting cast harsh shadows across the commander's exoskeleton as it stared at Reeves with all 6 eyes wide in shock. This is Captain Reeves of the Goliath. Your fleet has been neutralized, and your vessel is critically damaged. We offer assistance with evacuation and life support. The commander's voice was no longer filled with contempt. How did you? One ship. Primitive technology. It seems, Reeves replied evenly, that you underestimated humanity's capability. The Zectarian Imperium is hereby warned. Earth's territory is defended, and we are not as primitive as you believed. As the transmission ended, Reeves became aware of a new signal coming in, this one from the Galactic Council observation post. Ambassador Zoll's face appeared, his expression one of barely concealed astonishment. Captain Reeves, the Council requests immediate information on the weapon you have deployed. Such technology could disturb the balance of power in the galaxy. Reeves allowed himself a small smile. I'm afraid that information is classified, Ambassador. Perhaps the Council should reconsider its policies regarding territorial disputes involving Earth. As he terminated the connection, Reeves looked around at his bridge crew. They were battered, exhausted, but alive, and they had just changed humanity's place in the galaxy forever. The Goliath, once mocked and dismissed, had shattered not just an alien fleet but the perception of human inferiority. Communications, inform Earth Defense Command of our status, he ordered. And tell them. He paused, looking out at the stars beyond the viewport. Tell them humanity just earned its place at the table. But as the damaged Goliath turned toward home, Reeves knew this was only the beginning. The Zectarians would not accept defeat easily, and the Galactic Council would now view Earth with new, wary eyes. The real challenge was just beginning. Preposterous. This cannot be allowed to stand. The Galactic Council chamber echoed with angry shouts and heated debates. 3 weeks had passed since the Goliath incident, and representatives from a dozen major powers had convened an emergency session. High Counselor Trazal, a towering figure with translucent skin that revealed the pulsing of multiple hearts, raised his appendages for silence. Order. We will have order in these proceedings. As the chamber quieted, Ambassador Zoll stepped forward. The facts are undeniable. The human vessel deployed a weapon of unprecedented destructive capability. 7 Zectarian warships were completely atomized, their molecular structures unraveled. This technology represents a severe imbalance of power. From the Zectarian delegation, War Prince Kizik hissed in fury. The humans must surrender this technology immediately, They are a primitive species, barely a century into spaceflight. Such weapons in their hands threaten the stability of the entire sector. The human representative, Admiral Eliza Frost, stood calmly at the center of the storm. At 62, she was a veteran of Earth's first extraterrestrial conflicts, her dark skin marked with scars from battles fought long before humanity had ventured beyond their solar system. The Zectarian Imperium violated recognized Earth territory, Frost stated firmly. They threatened our sovereignty and fired upon our vessel without provocation. Earth defended itself, as is our right under galactic law, with a weapon that defies all known physics. Kizik shrieked. Frost's expression remained impassive. Not all known physics, War Prince. Simply physics unknown to you. A murmur swept through the chamber. You suggest, High Counselor Trazal said carefully, that humans have developed scientific understanding beyond that of species who have traveled the stars for millennia? I suggest, Frost replied, that humanity has taken a different path. While the established powers have refined existing technologies, we've been forced to explore alternatives. Necessity is the mother of invention, High Counselor. The Praxi representative, a crystalline entity that communicated through light pulses, flashed a sequence that the translators rendered as, the question remains, will Earth share this technology? The balance of power must be maintained. Frost's answer was immediate. No. Another uproar filled the chamber. When order was restored, Frost continued. For centuries, Earth has been treated as an insignificant frontier world. Our territorial claims have been dismissed, our requests for technological exchange denied. We were told repeatedly that humanity must prove its worth before gaining equal standing in galactic affairs. She surveyed the room. Consider it proven. In a private antechamber after the session, Admiral Frost met with the representatives from 7 previously neutral powers. Their offers of alliance and technological trade agreements sat on the table before her, concrete evidence of humanity's suddenly elevated status. You've played a dangerous game, Admiral, said the Solani diplomat, his feathered crest rippling with concern. The established powers will not easily accept Earth's rise. We're not asking for their acceptance, Frost replied. Only their respect. And if they oppose you? Frost's smile was thin. Then they will learn what the Zectarians learned. Underestimating humanity is a grave mistake. Aboard the Goliath, now docked at Earth's orbital shipyard for repairs and upgrades, Captain Reeves stood beside Chief Engineer Valentino as they reviewed the new schematics. The improved containment field should give us 30% greater stability, Valentino explained, pointing to the holographic display. And we've redesigned the emitter array to reduce the feedback that nearly fried our systems last time. Reeves nodded. What about the power requirements? Still substantial, but more manageable. We've incorporated some Praxi crystalline technology from our new trade agreements. It's remarkable how cooperative our galactic neighbors have become. Amazing what a show of strength will do, Reeves said, a hint of irony in his voice. Lieutenant Mercer entered the engineering bay, a data tablet in hand. Captain, the new crew assignments you requested. She hesitated, then added, and there's something else. You've been summoned to Defense Command. Admiral Frost wants to brief you personally. Later, standing in the Admiral's office with its panoramic view of Earth's gleaming orbital defenses, Reeves listened as Frost outlined the mission. The Zectarians are massing forces at Proxima Centauri, she said, highlighting the star system on a tactical display. Intelligence suggests they're planning to test our resolve and possibly our new technology. The Goliath is still undergoing repairs, Reeves pointed out. Frost's expression was grave. This won't be just the Goliath, Captain. You'll be commanding Earth's first battle fleet. She gestured to the viewport, where 5 ships bearing the unmistakable profile of the Goliath hung in synchronous orbit, their hulls gleaming in the sunlight. The Leviathan, the Behemoth, the Titan, the Colossus, and the Juggernaut, Frost said. Each equipped with our quantum disruptor technology, along with other improvements derived from your combat experience. Reeves stared at the fleet in awe. How did we build them so quickly? We didn't. They were already under construction when the Goliath was deployed. Your mission was always a test. We just didn't expect it to accelerate our timetable this dramatically. The Admiral handed him a command chip. Congratulations, Fleet Commander Reeves. The Terran Defense Force is now under your command. As Reeves accepted the chip, he understood the magnitude of the moment. In one battle, humanity had transformed from a marginalized species to an emerging power. The mockery had ended, replaced by grudging respect and fear. Beyond the viewport, the 5 massive warships represented humanity's new place in the galaxy. No longer would Earth be dismissed or threatened. No longer would humans be considered primitive or inferior. The Galactic Council, the Sectarians, and all who had looked down upon Earth would soon learn a fundamental truth that had defined humanity throughout its history. Those who laugh first often live to regret it. The Terran Empire was born.